welcome everyone to today's conversation. So first off, thank you. Thank you so much for spending the next hour and a half with us as we discuss how to make six figures in virtual public speaking with Orly Amor. She is a business coach for public speakers, an internationally known speaker herself, the author of several books, the founder of the Social Wow Factor Conference and the Global Mentoring Session. I got to tell you, she is a powerhouse and someone that I am honored to call a friend. And I am Linda Fisk, the CEO of Leadership Global, and I am absolutely thrilled to welcome you to the program today. Leadership Global is the most impactful community of extraordinary women in the world. We unleash the full potential of high-performing and growth-oriented leaders in a confidential, supportive, and private community. Leadership Global helps members accelerate their success by defining their vision, growing their leadership, expanding their influence, and leaving a lasting legacy. If you're interested in learning more about this remarkable community of women leading in business, entertainment, and politics, then please feel free to reach out to me. It would be my pleasure and my honor to get to know each and every one of you. Now, according to the latest report from the Brokerage of Speakers and Coaches, the world has, get this, 1 million too few speakers and 1 million too few coaches. In fact, there are approximately 64,000 events every single day that need speakers. And importantly, there's more than $100 billion spent on speakers for business meetings, organizational conferences, and special events every single year. Even with the new normal of nearly all speaking opportunities now being virtual, we still see $100 billion being spent for speakers worldwide. And that is really significant. Now, importantly, only 1% of speakers in the world are women. And this is true in every single speaking category: beginners, wannabe, part-time, full-time, corporate, trainers, politicians, athletes, celebrities. The industry is absolutely starving for more women speakers. So, as an internationally known speaker, a business coach for public speakers, and the author of several books, Orly is going to share the many opportunities available for business owners and public speakers to grow their brand, position themselves as subject matter experts. Today, you have the opportunity to learn how Orly helps public speakers create their system, develop their blueprint, and create their business model to make more money in less time. Today, you'll learn how to get booked to speak in 30 days or less, set your speaking fees, build a multi-dimensional business model, leverage the most powerful speaker marketing strategy available, and sell yourself as a professional speaker. Now, I hope that sounds good to you. I think that is a power-packed hour and a half. It's certainly worth your time. And before we get started, let me tell you just a little bit about Orly. Orly is a successful entrepreneur who has launched, grown, and scaled 5 separate companies. She's also launched a global nonprofit to help the health and wellness community through the Health and Wellness Network of Commerce Corporation, now in 6 countries and 18 states with over 56 chapters worldwide. She's an internationally known speaker herself, as well as a business coach for public speakers, a corporate trainer, and the author of several books. Orly helps business owners and public speakers grow their brand and position themselves as subject matter experts. She's helped, get this, over 200,000 people around the world maximize their bottom line by tripling and quadrupling their sales. Now, what you're going to know about Orly very quickly is that she's phenomenally multi-talented. She speaks 3 languages fluently, and she's earned her MBA as well as her law degree. And her extensive experience as a certified behavioral analyst has made her an indispensable coach to many influential corporate leaders all around the world. Orly recently published a book called Public Speakers, You're Not All That, 12 Reasons Why Event Planners Won't Hire You. And the book became an instant bestseller. The sequel to the book will be launching May 1st, or has launched May 1st, and is called Public Speakers, You're Still Not All That, How to Navigate the Paid Virtual Speaking Circuit. Orly specializes in showing professionals how to get booked as a speaker by helping them create their system, their blueprint, and their business model to make more money in less time. So listen in, folks. This is going to be a power-packed, action-packed hour and a half, and I could not be more pleased to introduce Orly Amor.
Oh my God, was she talking about me? Hold on a second, I gotta go check. Every time somebody introduces me, I always go, was she talking about me? Well, thank you so much. And thank you all for being here and taking the time out. And thank you for Leadership Global. And of course, Linda Fisk, what an amazing woman and amazing leader, fearless leader, I call her, because she's really fantastic. I see so many of my friends here. I see so many of leaders already in the industry. And I always love to see leaders in the industry already, like Raymond Ray and a couple more people. I don't see everybody, but I do see a few of you, and I'm so glad and honored to have that. By the way, you're going to see that I do speak fast. I love certain words like phenomenal, awesome, and I'll probably repeat that. And I like to say crazy stuff. But hey, I'm in New York now. I learned how to speak fast quickly. Take copious notes. Take your notebooks. Whatever you need to do, just get it done. I have no filter between my brain and my mouth, so that is my disclaimer. So please forgive it in advance. I don't ask for, for forgiveness. I'm just doing it in advance, right? What you see is what you get. I am like this all the time. I don't drink. I don't take drugs. Just so you guys know, this is who I am all the time, full of energy. Kind of scares my husband sometimes. He's like, are you okay? And I am. I'm really like that all the time. Just happy to be above ground. You'll know why in a minute. I'll tell you my story really quickly. As I said in the chat, if you did read the chat, no pitch, no sale, no joke. I am not here to sell you anything. I will put my information in the chat as far as if you'd like to get a 20-minute conversation with me. If you're serious about this business, just get on a call with me. That will be in the chat. That's the only thing I'm going to say about that. And what else would I want to say to you? I am going to give you a lot of information, and I might repeat some. I was like, wait a minute, Linda, I'm going to tell them some of that stuff, but I will repeat some of it because it is worth repeating for you guys to really dig into this business. You got to know what's going on. Not only if you've been a speaker for a long time, you're going to learn something. If you've heard this information before, hearing it again is only called confirmation, right? Sometimes it's information, sometimes it's confirmation. And I used to have a meme that says, until you learn the lesson, God will give you the lesson until you learn it, right? So it's going to be repeated. That's fine. And I do have gifts for you guys. So I know who's here. There is 88 people in here, or 91 right now. I know who's here. And so you will get a couple of gifts from me, and I'll tell you how to get them. They're gifts with no strings attached. So just be here, stay around, stick around, because I'm about to talk this through really fast. Take pictures, take whatever you want. I have nothing to hide, but definitely keep track of the chat and be participative, right? So those who show up, go up, right? And let's get started. So let's agree on one thing. You don't know what you don't know, right? And so I have been the first one to learn that really quickly in this industry, but I didn't know that I wanted to be in this industry. That's really my reality. So one is, are you coachable? And on a scale of 1 to 10, what is your willingness to learn? And usually the willingness to learn is usually a very high number. It's usually a 10 even. Some people it's 8, 9, 10. Are you willing to do whatever it takes to be in this business? So if you're here, I'm going to assume that you do. Many people, when they learn what needs to be done, are usually shying away or do something else. So I'm going to talk about the number one killer for speakers. What is the one thing that keeps them away from getting paid or making money? It's when they learn how much work is involved, but it's really not that bad. I say that it takes about 40 minutes to an hour a day. And if you don't have that, quit while you're ahead, drop right now. Don't even listen to the webinar if you don't have an hour to give this business a day. And I always say to my clients, you have to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning or 11 o'clock at night, or you can do this on the toilet. I'm not kidding. You can actually do this anywhere. So it's a good business to be in, and anybody can find an hour. All right, let's get started. This is an industry fact. I know that you heard Linda say there are 64,000 events a day in America alone, though, that pay speakers, yet most speakers struggle to make even $100,000 a year. And so I will be talking more about that and how cool it is to be in this industry today and why we're lacking so many right now. But the truth of the matter, it's a lot more than 64,000. See, prior to the pandemic, we were at 64,000 plus. We were actually at 73,000. And when the pandemic hit, I just said, you know what, let's keep it at 64. But I'll tell you what really happened during the pandemic, where everybody was thinking things were shut down. Only 1% of speakers are in the world are actually women. We are still lacking women in this industry. Linda spoke about it, so I'm not going to keep too much time on this, but believe me when I say this, we are still 1%. And if you're thinking, wow, really? Yes, really. But here's the other thing about women and men. Don't think that there's no room for you. You guys are having it easy. Women are scared of asking for the money. I want them to ask for the money. So for the past 4 years, I've been a big advocate for women to get out there, and please get out there, ask for the money, because event planners are looking for you, and they're really, really looking to get more women on their stages. So don't shy away from asking for money and getting out there. No matter who you are, no matter if you got started yesterday, yes, you could be star still. All right. Who am I? I'm going to peruse through this really quickly and my story also. Please understand that the real thing about this webinar, or whatever you want to call it, workshop, is not about me. It's about you and what I want to give you today. So yes, I have been speaking for over 24 years. My biggest stage was 7,000 people, $20,000. And I'll talk more about how much money you can make I'm going to talk to you about how much money you can make, how much money you can charge. That's also a question in this industry. What am I worth? How much should I charge? Where can I start? All that good stuff. We'll answer all of these questions. That's why I'm talking so fast. Sorry, I really want to get through this. I've published many publications. I own a few companies like the Global Mentoring, Coaching, and Publishing Center. Yes, we have so many. You can read the slides, so I'm not going through reading. I'm just telling you what I do. And for my book, Public Speakers, You're Not All That, I've interviewed over 3,400 event planners that actually pay speakers. So I got it from the horse's mouth. And that's why I know what I'm talking about. Not because I've been in the industry for so long. You don't see my slides? Oh my God, nobody told me. That's what I see. Thank you, guys. I'm glad somebody said something, guys. I've done this before, done it. Oops. Can everybody see my slides now? No? 1, 2.
Orly, you are so invigorating. Seriously. The slides are secondary. You pop so amazingly. That's why we didn't notice.
We can see them now, though, Orly.
Joke of the day. You know what? This can stand for life's most embarrassing moments. Do you see my slide now?
Yes.
Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Because I have so much to share.
Honestly, the slides, whether they were there or not, didn't matter, because it was introductory comments that we were following, no problem. So thank you.
Oh my goodness, that is hysterical. Okay, well, I prefer seeing you guys. That's oh Lordy Lord. Thank you guys. All right, life's most embarrassing moment. Take one. All right, got it. For 2021, this was the first one. That's okay. I think, no, that's like the third one. I did it before this year with one of my coaching groups. Okay, hold on. There we go. I'm good with this now. Sounds good. All right. Well, yeah. So I interviewed 3,400 event planners that actually pay speakers. And, you know, you will be surprised on what they say to me. And I will share that with you today. So there we go. This is the book cover. And I know the second book was supposed to come out on the 1st of May, but it didn't because I was traveling. And so it will be coming out in a couple of months because we're still editing the audio. I want it all to come out at the same time. Stay tuned. You'll have it too. All right. So how did it all start for me? Really quickly, I'll tell you my story and I don't hang up on it so that you understand. I was in property management for 25 years. I know I don't look it. I'm 54. Just let's get that out of the way. Elephant in the room. I was in property management and I was speaking all over the country and Canada. on property management. And one day my girlfriend said, come and speak at a women's shelter. And I'm like, what am I going to speak about? Property management? And she said, no, I want you to come and tell your story. I said, that's not happening. And so after her being very persistent, I agreed. And a few months later, I spoke at the women's shelter. And something very weird happened to me at that shelter. Oops, I stopped sharing, right? Okay, let's go again. Darn it. So what happened was I spoke, and something weird happened that after I got off the stage, I got people hugging me, which never happened in property management, but people who were hugging me and thanking me for being there. And one woman came up to me and said, listen, I just don't know if you understand. And I said, no, I do understand. Thank you. She's like, no, thank you, thank you, thank you. And we went back and forth. And then she pulled up a paper out of her pocket and said, this is how I was going to kill myself this morning. And after hearing you speak, I decided to live. And I want to thank you for that, because I just need you to show me how. So I had to really not hold my cool anymore, because I couldn't anymore. I was crying. She was crying. Everybody around us was crying. And here's my story in 18 seconds or less. I was a beaten up child. I was molested 4 times before the age of 14. I was raped 3 times before the age of 22. I was gang raped twice, left for dead. And I was married to a very abusive husband, both mentally and physically. And as a result of that, I had 4 abortions, and I gained a morbid amount of weight. I was 428 pounds at my heaviest. So today I can tell you I lost 230 pounds and got through school, did an MBA and all that good stuff. There you go. So the reason I'm here today is because I realized that was my pivotal moment where in my book, I tell that story. Actually, Chris tells that story in the book, because what he doesn't say in the story is what I said in the car after that event at the women's shelter. I was driving home, and here's what I said: screw property management. I don't want to do that. I want to do this for the rest of my life. I'd like to help people. I don't want to do property management. It sucks. This was more fun. And so I started doing public speaking, and then got certified as a behavior analyst, because I wanted to understand what happened to me. Why are we in this position? What happens in corporate? What happens in our life? And why some of us are more successful than others? And that's really what happened to me. And I started speaking, and people were hiring me for all kinds of things. And some things I created on the go. And so if you think that you don't have something to say, I'm going to tell you, you have something to say, and you can create it on the go. It happens every day. I cannot see the chat, so I'm going to just look at it later. And if you guys have a burning question, I will definitely look at them and answer later, if that's okay. So I've been on many stages with John Maxwell and other really great people. I can't put everything. I spoke in NASDAQ twice in a couple years before pandemic, but there's so amazing lifestyle that I love about this industry. I've been to 26 countries in 18 states. And the people that, criticize your life are the same people who don't know what you paid to get there, right? So don't think about your story. Don't think about what's happening in the world. Don't think about anything else but what you want to achieve. And it had to be about the mission. It's always about the mission. If you are, I do need to see the chat. So I'm going to do it this way. There you go. So if you are relating to what I'm saying to you, put a 1 in the chat, because you do need to participate. It is a participation. Thank you for the hugs. Thank you guys for all that. But if you can relate to where you were and where you are, then just put a 1 in the chat, because it's very important to understand that it's about your mission, your personal mission. Be a trailblazer. Do not think about anybody saying to you what you can and cannot do. I know you've heard this before. I know that. But my point here is that nobody can tell you what you can and cannot do in this industry. This industry is open to all, and there is so many opportunities. Nothing can stop you. I promise you that. Cool. So fast forward, I'm speaking all over the world. I'm speaking all over the country. And here I am in 2010 telling my business coach that I want to impact the lives of 200 million people by 2025. Now, I'm not going to go into the conversation because it's too detailed and it's too much time to tell you that story. But I live by 2 mantras. One is by Les Brown. The how is not your business. So right now, whatever it is that you want to achieve, the how is not your business. And the other mantra is by Sir Richard Branson. And when an opportunity knocks, say yes, figure it out later. And I live by that. But for all my businesses, I live by those 2 mantras. So in June of 2010, I am in Arlington, Texas at an event where I'm speaking. I'm one of the speakers and I'm in the break room for speakers. These three guys come over to me. One of them says, "Aren't you Orly Amor?" I said, "Yeah." "Do I know you?" "Sorry, don't remember." And one of them says, "No, we've never met before, but I've seen you on the circuit." So I said, "Oh, okay, phew." So we started networking. And one of them at one point says, "Well, I'm just curious. How did you get this gig?" I said, "Well, I don't know. I called, I told them what I speak about. They paid me and I'm here." So one of them says, they all looked at me like if I had three heads. "You got paid?" And I'm like, "Oh, crap. You guys didn't?" And they're like, "No, we got our expenses paid, but we didn't get paid." I said, "Oh, no, I got paid and I got my expenses paid." So they said, "Well, we want to know how you did it." And jokingly, because I was not coaching at the time, I said, "Well, if I tell you, I'm going to have to charge you." And before I could say just kidding, they're like, "Okay, name your price." And I'm like, "What?" "All right, let me get back to you on that. Let's exchange business cards. We'll talk sometime later." Like, what? I was not even thinking about it. Anyway, on my way back to Florida at the time, I was like, okay, maybe that's what the problem is in this industry. These people don't know how to do it, how to get booked or how to do this business, because it's a business after all. So this is my Arlington, Texas story and how I got started to thinking of creating the business in a box for public speakers and still being the only one in the world that guarantees you'll make 150K your first year in public speaking in writing. Yes. So I do have, we have a lawyer here. David Smith is here, is listening to that. He's like, "Yeah, hi, David." Just thought I'd say hi. All right. So pre-COVID, were you told you need a book or a podcast? You need a huge following. Were you told you need a niche or a signature speech? Boy, I hate those words, man. You need a huge email list, or were you told that you need a website? And if you did, that's old school. That's 10 years ago, pre-COVID. It's still pre-COVID, still old school. And I know you're probably thinking, what? I didn't need a website. I don't need this. Not that you don't need it. If you have it, great, good for you. But if you don't have it, don't go rushing to get one. It's not necessary right now. I will tell you what you need right now, but this is not what you need right now. And so let's move on. All right. That's why I love Yoda. You must unlearn what you've learned, because some things I've been taught and regurgitated in this industry, and I've been told and have been I've been told to so many people and made them spend so much money and time on the wrong things that they are still looking for that magical pill, magical wand that will just get them speaking gigs and get paid. And they're looking everywhere else. And it's, where? Right here inside of you, exactly where you're sitting right now. And I'm going to show you what you need to do. It is too simple. You're probably going to say, really? That's it? Probably. Yes, that's it. So let me go back. Okay. Were you feeling like this during COVID? Because I know a lot of people felt like, oh my God, despair. There's nothing else out there. Everything is shut down. Oh my God, right? That's not true. Podcasts were great and Zoom, my goodness, we're going to talk about all this. So your computer was the best thing during COVID, right? You got connected to the world. You had no other choice. And this is what most people felt like they had to juggle everything. Now everybody was home. Nobody was going outside. But let's talk about what really, really happened in this industry. What happened last year? Had events canceled, stopped, or rescheduled? What really happened? Were you worried about the future of the speaking industry? Wondered what will happen to your speaking business? Let me, put the one in the chat if any of this resonates with you. Ask if you should change your topic or your audience. Put a one in the chat if any of this resonates with you. Consider tearing up your living room and building a studio in your own house. Did you ever think about that? Yeah, I did, so believe it or not. Question whether you have what it takes to be a speaker, or wondered if now is the right time to even get started speaking. The whole year was like, woo, right? All in a shamble. Nobody knew what was going on. Everything was in question mark. Oh my God, did you feel that way? I know, right now, Glenn is like 5 ones or 6 ones. My goodness. Yes, absolutely. Right. We all were feeling that way. But unfortunately, it's the perception that we all got, right? Let me tell you what really happened. I want you to think of March 2020 to September 2020. And what did I tell you? 64,000 events a day in America alone. This is what really happened. So let's take all the events from March to September 2020. All of these events did not cancel. It's impossible. So let's separate them into 3 thirds. The first third, yes, they canceled, but they didn't have what the answer to what to do, whether they should postpone, whether they should go virtual. They didn't have a clue. So they canceled so that they can go and reevaluate, right? And think about it and replan. Fine. That's a third. The other third, I was a part of that third. I was already hired for some of these events, and they had the switch literally that went viral. Automatically, they just switched to go virtual, and they had everything set up within seconds after the announcements was made that everything was shut down. All they did was tell everybody, come on the Zoom, everything was done. I was one of these speakers for many of these events. So I can tell you right now, I was still busy. The other third postponed. They postponed for 2021, 2022 with the venues that were able to take them for the next date. And with the contingency that if they were not going to be able to host the event, that they will do virtual, but they'll be ready for it. But they had a bigger, different problem completely. If you want to know what that is, put a 1 in the chat. I want to see if you're listening to me, because this is really, really, really cool. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to know what is it that they had a problem now with. If you know the problem, put it there too, because the problem was that the speakers were canceling on them. The other way around. Oh my God, crazy, right? Crazy, but amazing for us, because we were getting hired for those that they were canceling. They were scrambling for speakers. How cool is that? Because they couldn't make it to the next date. The date was already, they had a date, the new date, they had something else going on. The speakers had other commitments, maybe a family thing going on, or they were traveling, or they had vacations, whatever they had planned. They couldn't make it to the next date. So for my clients and myself, it was a move on, let's get booked. We got booked during that time. I tripled my business between April and June 2020 versus my speaking business in 2019. Same months, April to June. Unbelievable. So it's all about your perception and your knowledge of what's really going on in the industry. And that's why I'm here, because I want to show you what's really going on in the industry from someone who actually interviewed 3,400 event planners. Yes. How cool is that? This picture actually creeps me out. Sorry, but okay, moving on. All right. So it's all about mindset. What do we know? What do we actually do about this? So in this business, you gotta be patient. Definitely. You got to be consistent. If you're not consistent, you think of stopping, starting, maybe I'll do it later, I'll do it now, whenever. Show up, because those who show up go up, and follow up. I just learned the right way to say this sentence. The fortune is in the follow up. I guess this is the right English way. Remember, I speak a few languages. Actually, I speak 7, but 3 fluently. Everything else, I'm kind of, sort of understand more than I speak, kind of a thing. All right. 2 reasons why speakers don't make money in this business. 1, they don't know how, so we can't blame them for that. But 2, they don't want to do the work. That's really it. There's no other way to say this. I actually say that sometimes they're lazy. You know, they don't like, a lot of clout to this. You have to do the work. Nobody will do it for you. And I'm going to save you a lot of money and a lot of time in a minute. I promise. So here's some industry facts. 98% of speaker sheets, the one sheets that everybody calls it now a one sheet because they don't know the difference between a media sheet and a speaker sheet, they call it a one sheet. But there is a big difference, and there is a science behind each one of those. So 98% of speaker sheets are done wrong. Not that they're wrong and they have the wrong information, they're just done wrong. And because a lot of speakers, they go online and they go Google, because Google is our best friend, and we look for pictures of one sheets or speaker sheets or media sheets, whatever you want to call it. And they copy what they like, right? And it's their likeness of it. And so they copy this and that and the other, and they make one up. And then they say, I have a speaker sheet. And it's not the right thing. Sorry. 80% of speakers quit after the third contact with an event planner, but most bookings are made. 80% of bookings are made between the 7th and the 12th one. So guess what? The people that are quitting too fast are losing. And 48% of speakers, guess what? They don't even respond to event planners. Like, how do you want to make money in this business if you're not going to respond to event planners? 48%, that's a big number when you're in a profession such as speaking. If you want to get paid, you got to respond. Why do you think speakers don't respond? Because they don't have their act together. And that's one of the, public speakers, you're not all that. 12 reasons why event planners won't hire you. One of the things that they say, and probably the first one or the second one, I believe, is that speakers don't have their act together. They don't have their stuff together. So they scramble when an event planner asks for something. And then some people say, well, I have my bio. Yeah, but not in the way that the event planner wants to see it. So now you don't really have your bio. You have a bio. Got it? Get it? Good. All right. In this business, you need to build yourself. You need to have some really good, consistent systems in place. You got to build your following. Yes, you still need a following in this business, but not for the reasons you guys think. Build your list. Yes, but not for the reasons you guys think. And build your income, because it's the only way you're going to survive in this business if you have income. A lot of people spend their time on the wrong things, and we're going to talk about that too really quickly. So what is the market for speakers? $100 billion a year, like Linda said earlier. Yes. 34.4 million meetings in the United States and North America alone. Average speaker averages, supposed to average $177,000 a year, according to the NSA, the National Speakers Association. And that's an article that was written in June of 2017. And I'll tell you why I put it there, because the actuality of speakers in NSA don't make that money at all. The only people that make that kind of money is people who have been in NSA for 10 to 20 years. But new ones are not, because it's not yet where they're at. But at the end of the day, it's not a bad thing. NSA is an association that helps with education, not with getting you booked. Just like speaker bureaus, they're great, but they're working for the client, not for the speakers. So you got to get away from somebody getting you hired or getting you paid. You got to get it yourself. I don't know about you, but I like to speak 8 to 12 times a month. If you're okay with speaking once every year, that's your prerogative. You're good with that. But if it's not, then you need to get it yourself. I'm one of those people that likes to, yeah, exactly. Thank you, Linda. Appreciate it. But here's what the other part I want you to know, that there is an article out there now that said that every year the industry has grown at 5.6% since 2016. And they are projecting that by 2022, this industry will grow by another $13.2 billion. And as Linda said earlier, we are missing 1 million coaches and 1 million speakers around the world, according to the Brokerage. So imagine how much room there is for all of you. Just do the work. Isn't that cool? Put a 1 in the chat. That's so cool. That's another word that I love a lot. Cool. It's cool. But cool. It's cool. I love this industry. I've been in it for so long because I love it so much. Cool? Yes. Again, that's my word. Cool. Phenomenal. Cool. All those words. All right. You think that this is going away, this Zoom thing is going away? Not at all. Let's talk about it. During the pandemic, many things shifted in the industry, events and hiring speakers. 78% of all events are now virtual, and they're not going away anytime soon. Not because things are opening up again, because I'm going to talk to you about what's really going on, but 78% of events are still virtual. My goodness. And we talked about this, so I'm going to just skip over it. All right. I want you to ask yourself a question. Question number 1, are you an amazing speaker? And of course you are. If you're passionate about anything at all, that you are passionate, just passionate, you are a good speaker. So put yes or put a 1 in the chat that you are a good speaker. And if you have an amazing message, I want you to also put a 2 in the chat, because you are heck yeah. You could put a heck yeah too. You have amazing message to the world that you want to share. Of course, yes, heck yeah. I hope you are. Okay, now, between the two of those, I want you to tell me one or two or B for both. Which one are event planners more interested in? Number one, number two, or B for both. It's okay either way. There's no wrong or right. Just put it in. One, two, or B for both. I'm so loving you guys. You're so cool. Those are participating. I'm adoring you. Awesome. All right. Are we done? Awesome. Everybody answered? Okay. Cool, 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 cool. All right. The answer is neither. I know, trick question. You hate me. I know. It's okay. Don't worry about it. I'm okay with it. Why? Because I got to make my point. What? Yeah, I know. What? All right. Yes. So neither one of these count. Why? Because here is what they really care about. Show up on time, finish on time. That's it. I know you're all scrambling. Well, how about if I'm a good speaker, a bad speaker? What if I don't have my message? Listen, if you're not a good speaker and you suck, they won't call you back. That's it. The fact is that you got hired. I know, funny. And I'm not trying to be funny, guys. This is reality. We all started something. And believe me, I really sucked when I started. When I hired my first speaking coach, I said, he was so dynamic. I'm like, you have to be my mentor. He's like, no, I don't hire. I don't do this work. I'm like, no, you're going to be my coach. He's like, no, Orly, I don't do this. And I'm like, you're going to be my coach. And I said, how much is it? And he's like, Orly, I don't do this. So no money will make me do this. I'm like, listen, money always counts. I'm going to pay you. What is it? Anyway, finally, I paid him thousands of dollars, believe me. And I got him to agree. I'm still the only one he ever coached today. And so anyway, when he first saw my first DVD, and I thought I was good, guys. I was so cocky. It's not even funny. I thought I was amazing. So I went to see him.
Alexa, turn off cool lights.
Sorry? Okay.
Okay, my dude.
So there was I had a DVD player, right? Those portable DVDs, and I put my DVD in there, and he kind of looked at it without sound. And he looks at it, and this is what he did. So I don't know if you guys would even relate to me right now. Put it a one in the chat if you relate to this. This is what he did. Orly, that's horrible, horrible. And I swear to you guys, all I wanted was the floor to open up like a big hole and swallow me. I thought I was good. So hiring a coach is not a bad thing, but I thought I was good. And so I learned from him a little more about speaking. None of us started as amazing speakers. We just have to have a passion for what we want to convey to the audience and think about that and then start somewhere. It's a craft. We got to work at it all our lives. We don't know everything. I don't think I know everything until today. I don't think I know everything. I don't think I'm good at it all the time. And sometimes we have our good days and our bad days, and it doesn't really matter. If we do our best every day, that's all that counts. Event planners don't care. But if the audience is not complaining or falling asleep, then I guess you did a good job. I'm kidding with you, but this is really an art and we need to continue working at it. That's our goal. That's our job. Cool. I knew you guys would get a kick out of this one. Okay. Speakers want to get paid, but they forget who they serve. You're serving the event planners. So they had a survey done back in, I think it was in the beginning of 2019, of the most stressful jobs in North America, the 100 most stressful jobs. Number one was military jet fighter plane pilot. Number two was air traffic controller. Number 6 was event planner. Do you guys really think that they care about everything else you guys care about? Do you guys think they're going to go read your website? Do you think they have time for that? Really? If they really want to check you out, guess what? They're going to LinkedIn. That's where they just check you out. But I'm going to tell you the number one mistake most speakers do also on LinkedIn, but we're going to talk about it. I love it. So how you show up. The way you do one thing is the way you do everything. If you show up late, you're always going to be late. If you're disrespectful, you're always going to be disrespectful. If you don't answer emails, you're always not going to answer emails. It's just the way you do things. That's how you show up for people, for your friends, for your family. It is everything you do. When I tell you I'm this energy all the time, ask like I have about 10 friends in here. You guys can put in the chat if I'm always like this. I'm always like this. I don't know how many of my friends are here. I can't see you all, but please go ahead and tell them how I am 98, 99% of the time. Yes. And are you still willing to do whatever it takes to be successful, not only in public speaking, but in everything you do? Because people are all wanting to be me or be other, like I want to be someone else, but why be someone else? It's too hard to be me, guys. Like I don't really want to be anybody else. I really just want to be me, but I want to be me all the time, and I want to be happy all the time. This is what you want to be, is happy and be able to provide for your families or provide for your future or retire happily, whatever that meaning is for you. Just put it down on paper and follow that. Me, it's about impacting 200 million people by 2025. I'm at 103 million right now. I'm so excited. You have no idea. This is so cool. And being with you guys right now is feeding my heart. This is really what I love. So I'll do this all day long. So cool. All right. We have two types of speakers here. Number one is the dabbler, and number two is the action taker. Which one are you? And put it in the chat. Which one are you? All right, I'm glad to see that there's action takers here. And by the way, guys, just the fact that you're here tells me you're an action taker. You are here, of course. You are here, so you can. Somebody put number 3. I love whoever did that, because that means you're my kind of people. That's like you'll go above and beyond, right? That is so cool. All right, sounds good. Oh, thank you for making me laugh. All right, to get booked as a speaker, do you think they come to you or you go to them? Because if you're going to wait for them to come to you, you're going to wait a long time these days, right? This is not, yes, absolutely, it's number 2. Because the old days, if you're talking about 20 years ago, we didn't have that many speakers. There were only about 2 handfuls, maybe 4 handfuls, right? I mean, there were the big people like, Tony Robbins of the world and so on, but only really a few people then. But now every morning somebody gets up and says, I want to be a public speaker. I want to make money in public speaking. I want to be a coach. And they just get up and want to do this job, but they're not willing to do what we are willing to do to make this work. So you got to be willing to do the work, and you can definitely go to them. But how are you going to approach them? You have to stand out. We're going to talk about it. More about mindset. You have to have a daily routine in this business, because it's an ongoing thing. And you know what? You can't stop for the rest of your life. I'm going to show you a very short video at the end of this that's going to tell you what momentum is in this business. It is crucial to never stop, ever, a routine in this business. People have other obligations. So they start their morning with, I need to do the laundry. I need to do this. I need to listen to this webinar, that webinar, and there's ongoing. Yeah, you got to listen to webinars and listen to other things, but carve time for those things, but then that's it. There's also time to do business, make money, right? And the number one killer of dreams for goals, success, or wealth is procrastination. Because most people say, well, I have this and that and the other. And there's so many things that people are investing in, their time and their money, but not in the right thing. If you want to be in public speaking, guess what? Invest in public speaking. Get into this public speaking space. Start contacting event planners. I don't care how you contact them. Just contact them. Even if you make mistakes, just contact them. Go for it, whatever it is. All right. So you can't see the picture when you're in the frame. That's why sometimes we hire coaches, because we want somebody else to give us the fast track into what we're doing, right? That's why I have 4 coaches. That's why I have, that's why we need to get something done faster. In this day and age, we don't want to wait. We're so micromanaged in our life, so that we need somebody else to kick our butt. Sorry, but that's what we want, right? So old school versus new school. When looking for an event to speak at, what are you doing? Are you reading the events? Like, are you reading the whole website? Are you deciding for them if they need you or not? And if you are any of these, I want you to put a 1 in the chat. Are you wasting time filling out forms, abstracts, or applications? And I'm going to tell you about that in a minute. Are you searching by year, date, or conferences? Are you, or what information are you taking from their website in order to contact them? And what is your follow-up system? Do you have one? Some people don't even have a follow-up system. Did they contact this event? Did they not contact this event? And here's the thing. What we're missing in this industry is diversity, variety, and women speakers. We already talked about the women part, so let me talk to you about variety and diversity and why this number two is so important. Number two part of this is important because you cannot decide for them what they need. It's no longer let me know my audience, because whoever is going to be there is going to like you, not like you. That's going to be everywhere. It doesn't really matter. If you want to speak to women, then go to women conferences, obviously. But you cannot decide for them if they're going to need you personally as a speaker or not. If they're going to need your topic of conversation. You don't know that. Maybe they do need you. Maybe they need you because somebody else spoke about that, the same thing last time, but they want some variety. They want somebody new. They want some fresh blood. That's really what is missing. So don't think for them, apply for all of it, not application-wise, call, text, email. Don't fill out applications. I want you to think about one thing. Who's reading them? Who's reading these abstracts and applications? Who's actually sitting at the end of this? Because you think you're the only one applying, right? I'm sorry, I am sarcastic a little bit, but really, do you think there's somebody at the end of this reading all these applications, thousands and thousands a day? Who is reading them? Nobody. Unless you are sending an email to them saying, I don't fill out applications, and then somebody there says, yes, please send the application because I'm the one who reads it. Then you can go ahead and fill out the application. You have a good rapport already with somebody there. That's a good idea. Other than that, do not fill up applications, abstract. That's a waste of freaking time. There are 64,000 events per day. Go to the next one. I know some of you are going to tell me, yeah, but some of these don't pay. Well, then don't call the ones who don't pay. Continue moving on till you get the ones that do pay. Sorry, it's a numbers game, just like anything else. And remember, we are all in sales, right? So somebody pays. People are getting paid. If you heard of people getting paid to speak virtually and live, can you put a 1 in the chat, please? Can you put a 1 in the chat if you've heard that people do get paid in this business? By the way, I can tell you that they do because I just got hired for 3 more. Thank you, Amy. Yes, people get paid all the time. So why not you? I don't get it. There's so many events. People are getting paid. So that means what? That there's events that pay. That's all. You just need to know how to talk to them. That's really the absolute truth, right? What about LinkedIn? What about LinkedIn? Everybody asks me that question constantly. So let me answer that. Which part of your business is it geared towards? Your LinkedIn profile. What is it geared towards? Your coaching or your speaking or both? You need to put both if you have coaching and speaking. Why not? If you want speaking engagements, you got to tell people that you speak. If you only have coaching on there, then people don't know you're speaking. That's number one. All right. In your about section, if you have testimonials about your speaking, like video testimonials, put them in there. People need to know that you are speaking, that somebody heard you speak somewhere, somehow. That's where you put that. All right. What are the 5 questions you need to be answering in all communications? All of them. Here are the 5 questions, guys. And if anybody wants to type that in the chat, this is great. Who are you? What do you know? What problem are you solving? How are you solving it? Why should I care? Not why should Orly care? Hello. Why should the audience care? Why should the event planner care? Why are you going to be the one that I should hire? Why? Because if you don't know that part, then how do you answer that for the event planner? And by the way, remember that they are the most stressful jobs in America. So if you don't give them the fact that you're going to help them make their event amazing because they hired you instead of someone else, that's why you need to talk about why should they care. And by the way, that answer on the why should they care should be the first thing you talk about in your about. And even for your coaching, why should people hire you as a coach? All that should be in the first paragraph that people see, your first 2 lines of your profile in the about page of your profile. And I am not a guru, guys. I'm not a guru of LinkedIn. There's plenty of professionals on LinkedIn and how your LinkedIn should look and so on and so forth. I am not it. But I'll tell you what event planners are looking for when you're a speaker. If you're a professional, a CEO, and that's not your thing, which is speaking, then that's something else for LinkedIn. I'm telling you what event planners are looking for and what they're looking at really quickly. That's what they need. They have 3 seconds to look at your LinkedIn profile. Show them something that matters, right? And what is the number one thing you should never do on LinkedIn? Never, ever, ever, ever. Anybody wants to know that? Do a thumbs up or something so I can see you guys are alive and well and smiling and whatever, right? Like, be animated. I need to see it. All right. So let me tell you, do not contact event planners through LinkedIn. Like, don't message them through LinkedIn. Number one, big mistake. They will blacklist you. OMG, right? Do not contact event planners through LinkedIn. What you can do is, if you want to look for an event planner that does corporate events or whatever, go copy their information, right? Their info can be there, maybe their email or whatever. Copy that, go put it into an Excel sheet, and then go in and email them personally, right? Hey, I took your information from LinkedIn. I was wondering if you're hiring speakers right now, whatever you want to do, right? Anything you want to say, it doesn't really matter. Okay? But do not contact them through LinkedIn, because the first thing they'll do is blacklist you or completely block you. And so you don't want that. You never want to do that. Cool? Yay. All right. What is the number one killer for speakers besides thinking they're all that? What is the number one killer for speakers besides thinking they're all that? Is that they think they've tried it all before and they've done it all before and they've done it, been there, done that kind of an attitude. Stop thinking you've been there and done that. You haven't tried it all. You haven't been there and done that. And you certainly did not contact 64,000 events a day that pay speakers to tell me that there's no paid gigs. Does that make sense? Put a 1 in the chat if you agree. Put a 1 in the chat if you have not contacted 64,000 events in one day. None of us can. And even if all of us sat in one room at the same time, we will never contact 64 events in one day unless there's 64,000 or 6,400 of us contacting 10 events. Makes sense? I mean, it will take a lot of us to actually contact these people every day. So you have not been there and you've not all that. And basically, you need to continue doing the work. It's a numbers game. Move on to the next one. If you've done so many a day, give yourself a number every day that you're willing to do in 1 hour and just do it. That's my point. Cool. So what type of a speaker are you? A keynote speaker, a workshop speaker? Multiple streams of income in this business, right? Speaking online and on stage, consulting, coaching, online courses. It goes on. Certification, licensing, repurposing your content. I'm sure you've heard this very recently. Everybody's doing that. Courses on repurposing your content. Yes, you can. If you have the time, go for it. Books and ebooks, they don't make you money, guys. Those are just glorified business cards. So if you have a book, good for you. If you don't have a book, don't worry about it. Don't spend time and money where you don't need to. Go speak, make money, then publish a book. That's the reverse, right? I didn't even have a book when I started. I didn't have anything when I started. It's hysterical. I had nothing, literally. Webinars and postcards and podcasts are good. Podcasts don't monetize for 2 years unless you have a hell of a list and people want to give you money just because they love you, literally. Other than that, it takes time to build a podcast. So know your, it's like knowing what, the animal, knowing the culture, knowing the business. That's what knowing the business means. And it's very important. And membership programs, why not? I have 2 membership programs and they're great. But at the end of the day, you know how long it takes to build that? It takes a long time. So get your business of public speaking going and your coaching, because those are the lowest hanging fruits in this business. Amazing, really amazing. When you know how to do it well, it's the gift that keeps on giving. That's what I love about it. Platforms to speak on, corporations, associations. Those are the biggest ones, the top 2, right? All right. Okay. Nonprofits, government and military. Do you know how many of those are available to you to speak at? They take a little more time to get in, but once you're in, oh my goodness, they have huge budgets. And college and universities too. Did you know they have huge grants from the government to pay you? So if they tell you that they don't have money to pay you, all you got to tell them is like, I know you use the money for something else. No, I'm just kidding. Don't say that. Here's what you say. You tell them that you are willing to work with any budget, but that if they have something that they can use from any budget, that you will take it, and that will help you. Just let them know that they get money from the government. Make sure that you tell them that you know that, because they do have money, hundreds of thousands of dollars to hire you, hundreds. Does this make you mad just to know that? Yeah, makes me mad, because they always tell me they have no money. They used it for something else. That's why. All right. So I want to talk to you about the store analogy really quickly. You and I are best friends. We are going to open a store. Amazing store, right? Everybody with me so far? Excellent. So we need the key to the front door. We need, obviously, we're going to need the hours of operation. We're going to need the name of the store above the store. We're going to go inside. We're going to need the alarm system. We're going to need a camera system for the security. We're going to need a cash register. We're going to need one of those swipey thingies for credit cards or whatever material. We're going to need insurance. We're going to need a bank account, all of this stuff, right? Did I tell you what we're selling in the store? No. That's the business of public speaking. You really need the infrastructure, or else nobody will buy from you. So if you're not ready to get with event planners, don't start, because you need everything in place to get with the event planners. You can still contact them. You can still let them know. But as soon as they ask for something, you need to give it to them 3 seconds or less. You really need to be very responsive with event planners. I had a guy who came on a discovery call with me. He was all huffing and puffing. He said that he contacted 3 event planners or something like that, and he went on vacation for a week. And then when he came back, some of these event planners got back to him wanting to hire him. Beautiful, right? He said that he called him up and said that he's ready to speak, and when is the event or whatever it was. And they told him that they hired the first 3 people that responded. Had nothing to do with his title, had nothing to do with his subject matter. They just hired the first 3 people that responded to their email. And he was complaining to me, the wrong person to complain to, by the way, because I said to him, I'm like, were you on planet Mars? Like, where did you go on vacation? Like, you didn't have access to your email or to your phone to get your emails that they wanted to hire you. And you would have just said, yes, I'm on vacation. I'll be back in 3 days, whatever that is. How can you not respond to an event planner? That's impossible. So know this. If you respond, you are on their best graces. Yes. Always be one of the first 3, because you will get hired because of it. All right, this is a business. You need to think like a business professional. I mean, like a business owner, literally, and know your assets and liability. I'm not good at everything. I hate social media. I love LinkedIn, but I don't like the other stuff because it's time consuming and I don't have the time. So I hire people for that. But what is the difference between you and other people as far as your I hate that word, niche title, right? I mean, what is it that you speak about? How many leadership speakers do we have? How many motivational speakers do we have? How many sales speakers do we have? Well, you need to stand out. You need to learn what differentiates you. And it's not you. It's what you say. It's how you're packaged. That's what will differentiate you. You got to have the right systems, the forms, your calendar. Some people don't even have a calendar. I don't know how they function. Follow-up system, tracking system. What are your numbers? How many people are you contacting? How many people are responding? How many people are actually hiring you? And are you counting the ones that don't respond to you at all? Because those don't count. I know. And that's just a few things that you need to actually, have in your arsenal, if you will, to be able to get. And CRMs are good, but they don't give you the right numbers. And that's what, I also help with. So what would being a speaker allow you to do, and what you currently can't currently do, right? 3 industry shifts that you must embrace as a speaker today. 1, virtual speaking is here to stay. Virtual speaker means no travel, able to impact a broader audience and reach more people, ability to speak at more events, less lead time for booking gigs. By the way, it used to be that we would get booked like 3, 4, 6 months in advance, a year in advance. And Sorry. And now it's 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 2 months. Isn't that cool? That is so cool that we can get hired faster now. So amazing. And more time for other things like home, family, etc. Right? But what's also good is that LinkedIn is encouraging this. And virtual speaking is exactly what is happening everywhere. And look at Zoom. Zoom went from the pandemic from 10 million to 200 million in 3 months. So now it's like crazy. It's awesome. What does that mean for you? What is your plan to book virtual gigs? Do you have a plan to book virtual gigs? Why not? It's still going and they still pay for virtual gigs. Yes, for virtual gigs. Absolutely. What is your plan to present your content in a compelling way? Are you camera ready? Are you always dressed up? Right? Even for a networking event, you should be ready to go every single time. Has everybody been on some of the networking events with Linda? She always looks perfect. Perfect. When I grow up, I want to look like her. I'm literally telling you guys this. She looks perfect all the time. Miss America. Literally. That's what I call her. Miss America. And are you now virtually speaking expert guru? Nobody has ever been here before. So don't think that way. Like, don't think like, oh, I don't know how I look, how I speak. Don't worry about it. Just do it. You know, it's so funny because when the pandemic hit and one of my clients got hired in June of 2020, he's like, Orly, oh my God, tomorrow I'm speaking. And I'm like, that's great. So great. So he goes like, I'm nervous. Okay, well, just be you. He's like, yeah, but I've never spoken on virtual before. I'm like, just be you. Just give your talk. They're going to love you. Don't worry about it. Nobody has been here before. So he did his talk. And 2 days later, he calls me back. He's like, Orly, you'll never believe what happened. I'm like, what happened, Trevor? He's like, they hired me for 7 more. And I'm like, that's awesome. I guess they liked you. And this is really what's happening. You're going to be hired more often because that is what's going on now. This is so cool, right? Amazing. Anyway, do you have a track record of closing deals through Zoom, through virtual speaking? None of us have been here before. We don't even know that number. None of us know that number. So don't worry about it. Again, where's Raymond Ray? He's here because, you know, like he's amazing at that. So I'm going to tell you, this is really amazing to be in this industry because we are all on the same playing field. We're starting. Nobody's been here before, so nobody can claim the glory anyway. We're all in the same playing field. I love that part. I'm telling you. So how many times have you been paid as a speaker virtually? Not many people have, but people are getting paid because they know they can. This is the cool part. Now that you know you can, what are you going to do about it? That's what I want to know. All right, next, really quick. Events will become smaller before they get bigger. So don't think that because there's live events that are opening up, that events are going to be 3,000, 4,000 people. Not happening. There's going to be still restriction. People are still scared to go out. This is what has been inculcated in us. So don't worry about the smaller. I love smaller groups. I prefer 20 than 200 because I get to be with the people. I like being with the people. I just spoke in New Orleans this past February. And yeah, I drove. I didn't take the plane, but I drove to New Orleans from New York. And when I did that event, at the end of the event, they got us all like in a circle and they all asked us to say what we had as an aha moment. And I'm like, I was just happy to see people and hug real people after a whole year not speaking in live events. So, but it was a small group of people and it was awesome. It was just awesome. So don't worry about it. More boutique type of events, more small workshop training opportunities, more gigs of the same client. That's really cool. If they like you, they'll hire you again and again. How cool is that? That's never been done before. Not as often anyway. How are you adapting content for smaller workshops? You don't even need to worry about it. That's the cool part. The speakers who are successful through this are playing long time, right? Long haul. Stay in this business. Don't leave and start and stop and don't do that. Don't do that, right? This started a long time ago. Yes, anciently. We've been doing this for a long time, right? Skate to where the puck is going, not to where it has been. Like, don't worry about the past. Don't worry about yesterday. Today you're here. Do it now. It's awesome. I know I told you I like the word awesome. How many times have I said it? Did anybody count? Like maybe 1,000 times already. All right. What it means to play long game, recognize the speaking industry isn't going anywhere. We are growing by the minute as speakers, as events, everything. Because even remember that a lot of people are working from home, right? What do you think companies are doing? They're training them virtually. They have no choice. They're hiring speakers to help them with mental health, with leadership, with sales, with everything virtually. How cool. Yay for us. The need for speakers is and will continue to get greater. Good news, relationships matter. Better news, relationships are formed quicker through crisis. And this is what we are living right now. There is a crisis in this industry. We are missing 1 million speakers and we are missing 1 million coaches. How cool. I'm loving every moment of this. Are you? Are you still there? Is everybody with me? Put a 1 in the chat. I know. Amy, mwah, love you. Okay, awesome. So what should you do right now to continue moving forward as a speaker? All right, here's what you should not do. Don't do this. Don't stick your head in the sand, hiding from what you need to be doing. Get with it. Everything is not fine. You need to get cracking and be decisive right now. Right or wrong, make a decision. The road of life is paved with flat squirrels everywhere. So we used a stuffed animal squirrel, not a real one, guys. I'm not that bad, that mean, because my assistant, I think she's here also, she got this picture. I said, no, don't put a flat squirrel, ugh, you know, but the truth of the matter is we have to make decisions quicker. People who have made decisions quicker got things done quicker. That's all it is, really, right? Are you learning something? Want more? Put a 1 in the chat. If you are learning something or want more, whichever you want, it's okay with me. Either way, 1 will do, right? 1 will do. Yes. Oh my goodness. How many are we still here? Oh my God, there's 70 of us. Awesome. All right. So no more speaking for free or for no fee. No more, unless you're a speak to sell speaker and you know that you're going to make money, because that you need to know how much you're going to make. Absolutely. Right. Hone your craft. You're not all that. Nobody's all that. Neither am I. Right? I'm not conceited. I'm convinced. No, I'm just kidding. Not true. I am just good at what I do, but I don't think I'm all that. All right. Create value add. Just add value all the time. Give more than you would give anyway. Be generous. Giver's game. Yes. Get your technology and marketing materials in order. Whatever it is that you need to get done, do it. Spend some time on it. Oops. Yes. Always be marketing. You always need to be networking, always be marketing yourself, always reaching out to event planners, always doing something for this business to work. Have a fee structure. Do you know how much to charge? I'm going to show you in a second. Set your timing expectations. What do you want to do? Do you want to speak once a month, twice a month, 3 times a month? I'm going to show you how much you're going to make at every single level. Negotiate well. Do you know how to negotiate? Do you know how to tell event planners how to give you the money? Do you know how to do that? Because that's important. Because they smell you a mile away if you don't know this business, if you're not confidently speaking. Because you can start yesterday and I can still show you how to be confident with an event planner that they'll think you've been doing this business for 10 years. You can start yesterday, seriously. All right. So here's how much you can make. You can make, if you're just starting out, between 1,000 and 5,000. But where do you really fit in all this? That you got to know. And up and coming corporate speakers, 5,000 to 10,000. But where do you fit in all this? Where are you? How much? What is the most you've ever made? And I want you to think about that for yourself. Professional corporate speakers, 10 to 20,000. Best-selling authors, and we're talking about New York Times best-selling author, 20 to 50,000, and the speakers, 50,000 up. Here's what I wanted to tell you. How do you know where to start? How do you know how much to charge? I want you to think about how much the most you've ever been paid to speak. So let's say it's $2,500. I'm giving you an example. And how many times have you been paid that one time, $2,500? If you've only been paid once, $2,500, you're not a $2,500 speaker. Get out of that. Don't think you're all that. You're not all that yet. You need to be paid a few times the same amount in order to call yourself a $2,500 speaker. 2,500 times how many? 20 times in a row. Not one time 500, one time 1,000, one time 200. That doesn't count. You got to know how much to charge. And if you're not charging properly, guess what? They know. They talk to each other. That's what I want you to know. And if you're still here, 70 of you are getting this list where you can speak anytime you want. If you give me your email, you will get this list. And this list is priceless because they are not only giving you the space to speak, but they're promoting you to their database. How cool is that? OMG. Woo-hoo. All right, perfect. I am so excited to give this to you and so much more. So much more. I can't wait. Awesome. Interactive exercise that I need you to think about. Just think about it. You don't need to answer me. You don't need to put it in the chat. It's going to go really quickly because I have something to show you that I'm so excited about, right? And it's the video, I promise. So I really want to show you that. Okay. If you had everything you need, of course, to be a successful in this business, what does your business look like in 1 year from now? Right? Just think about it. How much money did you make? How much money do you want to make? Right? How many gigs did you get? If you think about how many you want a month, you will be able to do this, right? What did you discover about yourself? Because that's very important, right? Because are you committed to putting in the time? Yes. What did you do differently to get there? Because it's commitment, right? And I told you, it's a lot of commitment. It's at least once a day, and there's follow-up, follow-through, all of that, right? Here is what I'm going to definitely make you think about it, right? If you're a $2,500 speaker, then 60 times 2,500 is 150K. That's the minimum wage in public speaking. That's like working for McDonald's for $20,000 a year. Anybody can do this. What 60 times is like 2-3 times a week to speak, right? But in order to get there, you got to work hard. All right. If your fee is 5,000 per speech, then 30 times 5,000 is 150K. And how many times is that per week or per month? Now you're talking about what? 3 times a month. If your fee is 7,500, then 20 times a year, you're still making 150K. And if your fee is 10,000, then you're 15 times a year. That's like once or twice a month, not even. 1 time and a half a month, you're making $150,000 a year, which is my minimum guarantee. Well, I am not $150,000 a year speaker, guys. You've got to know that, yeah? Because I speak between 8 and 12 times a month. 8 and 12. And if I don't, Orly not happy, okay? So you got to know that you have to oil the machine and get momentum going so that it's the gift that keeps on giving. And by the way, I'll tell you the guru story in a second. And by the way, if you get the machine going, right? And if you start speaking, and from the speaking, you got paid, right? Like we agree, we got paid to speak, but then we also sell a coaching package here and there, or 2 or 3, whatever. We get a lot of clients from that as well. So that we got to understand. And getting a coaching client from a speaking gig, is that money from coaching or money from speaking? Let's all agree that this is money from speaking, because you would have never gotten that money unless it was from speaking. Everybody agrees with that? Put a 1 in the chat if you agree, because that's just logic. And that's speaking business. That's learning the business of public speaking. Everybody with me on that? Because that's very important to understand. So my $150,000 guarantee is a combination of everything, or a combination of all those speaking gigs put together. 2,500, 5,000, 10,000, whatever you get paid altogether. 150,000 a year is easy to make. It's minimum wage. It's crazy. If you don't make that, it's a hobby. It's not a business. So if you're serious about this business, you can make it like that. Nobody is stopping you. There's too much opportunity and not enough speakers. 1 million missing. I don't know where they are, but they dropped off. By the way, that's why we're missing, because during the pandemic, a lot of speakers went back to work, have a job, don't want to do this business anymore. They were struggling too much. And then, you know what, the people that were around them didn't believe in them anymore. Does that make sense? I mean, we've all been there. Believe me, I've had people tell me I need to get a job a long time ago. And I said, no, I don't need to. And then a lot of people saw me do a lot of things, like get more companies, do more stuff. And they told me to slow down. You know what I told them? I told them to catch up. I told them to catch. No, me slow down. That's never going to happen. You need to catch up. Okay. So you guys need to be a trailblazer for yourself and let those naysayers stay by the wayside and wave goodbye to you, because my train has left the station. You know what I mean? And you got to let your train leave the station and move forward. So let me show you this amazing, let me tell you the story really quickly because it's a really good story. I've kept this story for 20 years. I've been telling it for 20 years. There's a guru at this event, right? And and maybe you heard this before, but there's a guru at this event. And the young man that's watching this guru is like freaking, amazed by this guy. And the guy's showing his house and his cars and the money he's making and all that good stuff. And the young man after the event goes to the guru and says, oh my God, I need you to mentor me. I want to be like you. When I grow up, I want to do exactly what you do. Show me how to do it. And the guru says, no, I don't do that stuff. I don't teach anything. So they battle it up back and forth. The guru says no. The young man says, oh, please, I'm willing to pay anything. You need to be my mentor. And so the guru gets fed up with the young man and says, you know what? You want me to mentor you tomorrow morning on the beach, 5 a.m. The young man shows up, suit, tie, shoes, the whole shebang. The guru is like flip-flops, t-shirt. And so he says to the young man, he's like, take off your shoes, take off your tie. You're walking with me towards the beach, towards the water. And they're walking towards the water, and the water gets to their knees, now to their thighs, then to the chest, and all the way to the neck. And the guru takes the young man's head and shoves it under the water and holds it there and holds it really tight. And now the young man is fighting for his life. And all of a sudden, after 3 seconds, the guru lets his head out of the water, and the young man gasps for air and goes, and the guru just looks at him and says, so when you were under the water, what were you thinking? Were you thinking about my cars, my money, my big house, what the success I have? What were you thinking about? The young man goes, are you crazy? I was trying to breathe. I was trying to live. That's what I was thinking about. So the guru says, that's right. In order to be successful like I am, you need to you got to want it like you want air to breathe. So you got to work for it. You can't just have it. It's not going to work. Make sense? You're with me? Awesome. I'm going to share an amazing video with you because it has the law of physics, science, and gaining momentum in your business. That's why you can't stop once you start. That's why you got to be, serious about this business, and you got to want to do it for the rest of your life. Zig Ziglar said it himself. Speakers don't retire. We die. He actually spoke 4 days before he died. In Texas, by the way. Linda, that's where you're from. That's where he spoke. 4 days before he died, he spoke 15 minutes on stage, and I missed that speech because I was delayed in my flight. I arrived to Texas, but I never got to see him speak. And I'm telling you, this is a business you want to be in. It's amazing. I love it. And I'm sure you felt my passion so far, and I will stay in it for as long as life will, God will give me life. But life has no remote control, right? We got to get up and change it ourselves. We got to do the work. And a year from now, you will wish you started today. Here's my gift to you as well, is that I will give you a couple of lists of event planners associations that you can contact. And you each get, those of you who are still here, because we are making sure that we know, you are, and if you gave me your email, that's more important, that you will get also an ad in the Speakers and Experts magazine that I own, that goes out to 58,000 event planners that hire speakers, and you will be able to be in it for the month of June. If you send in the ad as soon as possible, you will be in it for at least 1 month. So that's my gift to you. I told you that it will be worth it. So there you have it. And you might even stay there until the end of the summer if you give me that ad as soon as possible. So that's my gift to you. Told you, no strings attached. You have my support. And if you have any questions, here's the link to my calendar. If you ever need any information, let me just stop sharing the screen and get you that information in the chat. And there you go.